Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chayana Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayamudire. Ashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavati Ruttamastoke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Om Agnanatimirandasya Gnanadana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chanda Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gauda Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gauda Bhakta Vrinda. Sri Chaitanya Bhagavata, Chapter 2, The Lord's Appearance. So I'm going to just read the English. All glories to Mahaprabhu Sri Gaura Sundara. All glories to the son of Jagannath Mishra, the Lord of all lords. All glories to the life and soul of Nityananda and Gadadhara. All glories to the shelter of the devotees, headed by Advaita Prabhu. This is all glorification of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All glories to Lord Gauranga, along with his associates. By hearing the topics of Sri Chaitanya, one attains devotional service to the Lord. By hearing topics of Sri Chaitanya, one attains devotional service to the Lord. I again offer my obeisances at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya and his devotees. Let the topics of Sri Gaura Chandra become manifest on my tongue. All glories to Sri Gaura Chandra, the ocean of mercy. All glories to Nityananda Prabhu, the personification of devotional service. Nityananda Prabhu is personification of devotional service. And Sri Nityananda personally worships Gaura and is the worshipable Lord of the pure devotees. Although the truths of the two brothers and the devotees are incomprehensible, they can be realized by the mercy of their lordships. The knowledge of personalities like Lord Brahma is enhanced by the mercy of Lord Krishna. This is confirmed in all the scriptures, such as the Vedas and the Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. May the Lord, who in the beginning of the creation amplified the potent knowledge of Brahma from within his heart and inspired him with full knowledge of creation and of his own self, and who appeared to be generated from the mouth of Brahma, be pleased with me. So this is just showing, giving proof that the knowledge of personalities like Lord Brahma is enhanced by the mercy of Lord Krishna. So in Chaitanya Bhagavat and Chaitanya Charitamrita, we see that for every statement like this, which is philosophical, tattva, made in Bengali, there'll be some proof given by the author from different scriptures, mainly Srimad Bhagavatam, and also other Puranas as appropriate. Lord Krishna's incarnations are very difficult to understand. Who has the power to understand them without his mercy? We might think, oh yeah, we're hearing all these pastimes, we are able to understand. But it's only by their mercy that we are able to understand whatever we are able to understand. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, Lord Brahma concludes that the pastimes of Krishna's incarnations are inconceivable and inaccessible. Who has the ability to know why Krishna Chandra incarnates? Still, I am giving whatever reasons are described in the Srimad Bhagavatam and the Bhagavad Gita. Yada yada hi dharmasya, whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, O descendants of Bharata, and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself. to deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants, as well as to re-establish the principles of religion. I myself appear millennium after millennium. Sambhavami yuge yuge. Whenever there is a decline in religious principles and irreligion becomes more prominent day by day, at that time the demigods headed by Brahma pray at the feet of the Lord to protect the sadhus and destroy the miscreants. The Lord then appears in this material world with his associates and paraphernalia in order to re-establish the principles of religion. The religious principle for the age of Kali is the congregational chanting of the holy names of the Lord. Sri Sachi Nandana incarnates to establish this principle. The Bengali says, Kali Yuge Dharmohai Hari Sankirtan. Etadarte Avatirana Sri Sachinandan. It is stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam that the Supreme Absolute Truth Lord Gaurachandra incarnates to propagate the chanting of the holy names. Lord Chaitanya inaugurated the congregational chanting of the holy names as the essence of all religious principles for the age of Kali. Sarva Dharma. Kali Yuga Sarva Dharma Hari Sankirtana. There is no other dharma. There is no need to do anything else. No need to do any other homa. That nothing is required. No other yagna is required in Kali Yuga. It is only Hari Sankirtana. Actually, we know when Srila Prabhupada was the inauguration or the deity installation of deities in in Vrindavan, the temple in Vrindavan, Krishna Balram temple. Actually, Prabhupada just wanted devotees to just do Sankirtan. That's all, right? And he will do Abhisheka and that's it. But then local Brahmanas, etc., they were not happy about that. So then, Srila Prabhupada said, okay, we will invite them, we will do some Homa, Yagna. But he said, you continue Kirtan as this Homa is going on, you continue Kirtan. But that Homa, etc., he did only for just to satisfy them. Because actually it's ironical, right? I mean, when we are saying that Lord Chaitanya inaugurated, he came to give the essence of all religious principles. It's not required that at least we should not publicly encourage other things. Sometimes I am not very sure why we do it. But we have to just, with everything, there has to be a Harinam. And even if anything else is not there, if Harinam is there, everything is complete. In Kali Yuga, the Lord incarnates with his associates to maintain the religious principle of Sankirtana. On the order of the Lord, all of his associates took birth in human society. Ananta, Shiva, Brahma, various sages, and the associates of all the Lord's previous incarnations all took birth as great devotees. Only Gaura Krishna knew, Gaura Krishna knew which associate took birth as which devotee. Some took birth in Navadvip, some in Chattagrama, some in Radha Desha, some in Orissa, some in Srihatta, and some in the west. Although the devotees appeared in different places, they all gathered in Navadvipa. Most of the Vaishnavas took birth in Navadvipa and some beloved associates appeared elsewhere. Srivas Pandit, Sri Ram Pandit, and Sri Chandrasekhara are worshipped throughout the three worlds. Who Srivas Pandit? Gauraganodesha Deepika says Srivas Pandit is non-different from Sri Narada Muni. Parvat Muni, who was very dear to Narada Muni, he appeared as Sri Ram Pandit, younger brother. And Sriman Chandrasekhara. He was a devotee uncle. He was uncle of husband of Sachi's sister, Chandrasekhara Deva. Along with Sri Murari Gupta, who cures the living entities of their Bhava Roga, material disease, They all took birth in Srihatta. So some devotees took birth in, many devotees took birth in Navadvipa, many other devotees took birth elsewhere. So all their glorious, great devotees' names. Just by chanting, just by taking their names, we will get purified. Pundarika Vidyanidhi, the topmost Vaishnava, Chaitanya Vallabha, and Vasudeva Datta all appeared in Chattagrama. Haridas Thakur appeared in the village of Budana. Budana. The Supreme Lord Nityananda Prabhu appeared in the village of Ekachakra in Radha Desha. The exalted Hadai Pandit was the king of the Brahmanas. He was accepted as the father of Lord Nityananda, who is the original father of all. Sri Nityananda Rama, the ocean of mercy, the giver of devotional service, and the shelter of all Vaishnavas, appeared in Radha Desha. At the time of Nityananda's appearance, all the demigods secretly showered flowers and chanted Jai, Jai. From that day on, the land of Radha began to prosper and signs of auspiciousness became visible. Radha Desha is the area where Ganga doesn't flow, and so it's not considered auspicious. But as soon as Lord Nityananda appeared there, it showed all signs of auspiciousness. Paramananda Puri, who enjoyed pastimes with the Lord in Nilachala, appeared in Trihuta. The banks of the Ganges are most sanctified. Why then would a Vaishnava take birth at an impious place? Meaning all this Radha Desha and other places. It was not on the banks of Ganges. So asking why are the Vaishnavas taking birth in impious places, places where Ganga doesn't flow? The Lord appeared on the bank of the Ganges. So why did his associates appear in distant places? Answer. Out of compassion, Lord Krishna ordered his great devotees to appear in places where the Ganges does not flow, where the holy names are not chanted, and where the Pandavas did not visit. See how exalted Pandavas. So these places, in these places, the Lord ordered his great devotees to appear. Why? Sri Chaitanya descended to deliver the entire universe. He's confirmed this with his own words. The Lord had his devotees who were equal to him appear at impious places and in impious families to deliver everyone. In whatever place or family a Vaishnava appears, people for hundreds of thousands of miles around are all delivered. Wherever the Vaishnavas go, that place becomes a sanctified place of pilgrimage. Therefore, Sri Chaitanya had his associates appear in all different countries. Although the devotees appeared in various places, they all met together in Navadvipa. Because the Lord would appear in Navadvipa, the devotees all gathered together there. Of course, they didn't know. There is no place in the three worlds like Navadvipa where Lord Sri Chaitanya appeared. Knowing that the Lord would appear, Providence arranged all prosperity and opulence in advance. Who can describe the opulences of Navadvipa? 100,000 people could take bath at one bathing ghata. So that was the measure of opulence. 100,000 people would take bath at one bathing ghata. By the merciful glance of Saraswati, the goddess of learning, hundreds of thousands of children, youth, and old people were expert in the scriptures. They were all proud of being great scholars. Even a young boy would challenge his teacher. Many people came from various provinces to study in Navadvipa because by studying there, one achieved a taste for education. Therefore, no one could count the innumerable students and millions of teachers gathered there. By the merciful glance of Rama, the goddess of fortune, everyone lived happily there. But they wasted their time in mundane activities. The whole universe was devoid of devotion to Krishna and Balaram, and future symptoms of the age of Kali became manifest in the beginning of the age. People's religion consisted of fruitive activities, and they would stay awake through the night chanting prayers to Mangala Chandi, goddess Durga. Some people proudly worshipped Vishahari, the goddess of snakes, and others spent great wealth on idol worship. People squandered. Oh, by the way, what is this idol worship? Just keeping some idol. Huh? Apparently, this is. I heard that this is also becoming is happening in ISKCON also, wherein the deities are not installed. Mm. So then they are just idols. The deities are not installed. They are what are they? I mean, they are just idols. Idol becomes a deity when there is prana pratisthapana. Mm. So anyway, these things are. Mm. Okay, people squandered money on the marriages of their sons and daughters. In this way, they wasted their human lives. This is what people earn money for, squandering it on marriages and buying this and that. And so, yeah, Vrindavan Das Thakur was saying, in this way, they wasted their human lives. Even the so-called scholars who have surnames of Bhattacharya, Chakravarti, and Mishra, they did not know the real purport of the scriptures. And even after teaching the scriptures, the teachers still engaged in such activities. So they're teaching the scriptures, but they are themselves engaged in material activities. As a result, both the teachers and the students were punished by Yamaraja. They never explained the religious principle for the age, which was chanting the holy names of the Lord. They only found faults with others. They never glorified anyone. This is all the so-called learned teachers in Navadvipa. All the so-called renunciants and ascetics never chanted the names of Hari. No Haridvani. Only the most pious people would recite the names of Pundari, Kaksha, and Govinda at the time of taking bath. Even when someone explained the Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam, they would not mention anything about devotional service to the Lord. Seeing the entire world illusioned by the Lord's external energy in this way, all the devotees felt unlimited distress. So we should understand this is the sign of a devotee. Sign of a devotee is that he feels distress by paradukha dukhi, by seeing the material illusion state of the jivas. Otherwise, we cannot be called a Vaishnava if we don't have this compassion. So the devotees, they thought, how will these people be delivered? The whole world is simply absorbed in material enjoyment. People will not chant the names of Krishna even if they are instructed. Rather, they constantly glorify their education and good birth. The great devotees, however, followed their prescribed duties like worshipping Krishna, bathing in the Ganges, and discussing topics of Krishna. They were doing their work, their sadhana, etc. But they were very, very distressed with the state of affairs. So they all bestowed their blessings on the people of the world and prayed, "Oh Krishna Chandra, please quickly bestow mercy on these people." So we also should pray. Mm. Oh Krishna Chandra, oh Gaura Chandra, please quickly bestow mercy on these people. Residing in Navadvipa at that time was Advaita Acharya, the topmost Vaishnava who is glorified throughout the world. Sri Advaita Acharya was the most respected teacher. He was as expert as Lord Shiva in explaining the devotional service of Lord Krishna with knowledge and renunciation, Gnana Vairagya. He explained all the scriptures that are found in the three worlds and concluded that devotional service to the lotus feet of Krishna is the essence of all teachings. We might not be experts, but our acharyas in our sampradaya, they're all experts. They're all topmost scholars. And they have proved, like Advaita Acharya now, he explained all the scriptures that are found in the three worlds and concluded the devotional service is the essence of all teachings. Sri Advaita Acharya would enthusiastically worship Krishna with tulasi manjaris and Ganges water. He loudly called for Krishna in great spiritual ecstasy. That sound vibration pierced the covering of the universe and was heard in the Vaikuntha planets. On hearing Advaita Prabhu's cries of love, Lord Krishna personally appeared, for he is controlled by the love of his devotees. Hmm. Krishna is controlled by the love of his devotees. And Advaita Prabhu's cry was that of love for Krishna. Therefore, Advaita Acharya is the best of all Vaishnavas. There's no comparison to his devotional service in the entire universe. In this way, Advaita Acharya residing in Nadia in great distress due to people's lack of devotion. Everyone in the entire world was engaged in materialistic activities. No one was engaged in worshipping or serving Krishna. Some people worshipped Vashuli, which is Chandi or Durga, with various ingredients. And some people worshipped the Yakshas with meat and wine. People would constantly dance, sing, and play musical instruments in a great commotion, but they never heard the supremely auspicious names of Krishna. The devotees headed by Advaita Acharya were distressed upon seeing the people engaged in so-called auspicious activities, not related to Krishna. And so the people were thinking that they are engaged in auspicious activities, but because they were not related to Krishna, they were only so-called auspicious. By nature, the heart of Advaita Acharya was full of compassion, so he mercifully contemplated how to deliver the living entities. He thinks, if my Lord descends, then all these fallen souls would be delivered. My name, Advaita Simha, will be justified when I cause the descent of the beloved Lord of Vaikuntha. I will make the Lord of Vaikuntha appear in this world, and we will dance, chant, and thus deliver the fallen living entities. Lord Chaitanya repeatedly confirmed that he incarnated due to the desire of Sri Advaita Prabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu subsequently, after he appears, he repeatedly says, I came here because of Nada. Nada is Sri Advaita Acharya. Srivas Pandit resided in Navadvipa. Lord Chaitanya enjoyed many pastimes in his house. Srivas Pandit and his three brothers, Srivas, Sriram, and actually Sripati and Srinidhi. So Srivas Pandit and his three brothers. So Srivas Pandit and Sriram Pandit, Sripati and Srinidhi. They continually chanted the names of Krishna. They would take 3 baths daily in the Ganga and then worship Lord Krishna. Many other devotees lived incognito in Nadia. By the will of the Lord, Sri Chandrasekhara, Jagadisha, Gopinatha, Sriman Pandita, Murari Gupta, Sri Garuda Pandita, and Gangadasa all took birth before the Lord, meaning before the Lord appeared, they all appeared. If I listed the names of all the devotees, this book would increase in size, so I will mention those names that I know at the appropriate time. All these devotees were engaged in their prescribed duties. They were all magnanimous and they knew nothing other than the devotional service of Lord Krishna. Mm. So they were engaged in their para swadharma, their supreme occupational duty, which is devotional service to Lord Krishna. They all had friendly relationships with one another. Very important. All Vaishnavas have friendly relationships with one another. Although they were unaware of one another's identity, meaning who they were, where did they come from. They didn't know that they were all eternal associates of the Lord. They didn't know all that, but they were all devotees, so they had friendly relationships. The hearts of these devotees burned on seeing the people of the world devoid of devotion to Lord Vishnu. Because they could not find anyone interested in hearing topics of Lord Krishna, they would engage in kirtana by themselves. So they tried preaching, but nobody was interested. They would remain together for a couple of hours in the house of Advaita Prabhu and mitigate their distress with topics of Krishna. The devotees felt that the entire world was burning and they felt sorry because they could not find anyone to speak with. Speak with meaning because they wanted to speak with about Krishna and there were very few people, only few devotees. The Advaita Acharya along with the other Vaishnavas tried to preach to the people, but the people could not understand anything because they were in Rajoguna and Tamoguna. They couldn't understand anything. In distress, Advaita Acharya began to fast, and the Vaishnavas sighed deeply. People did not know why the devotees danced for Krishna or chanted his names. They could not understand who was a Vaishnava or what the purpose of Sankirtana was. People could not understand any of these things because their hearts were filled with desires for wealth and children. Please hear this again. People could not understand any of these things, meaning they could not understand devotees, they could not understand Krishna Bhakti because their hearts were filled with desires for wealth and children. All the atheists would laugh at the Vaishnavas. Every evening, Srivasa Pandita and his three brothers would loudly chant the names of Hari in their house. On hearing this chanting, the atheists would remark, "What madness! This Brahmana, Srivasa, will ruin this village." The Muslim king is very cruel by nature. If he hears about this Kirtana, the whole district will suffer. Someone else said, "I will drive this Brahmana out of town, break his house, and throw it in the Ganges. If we get rid of this Brahmana, then it will be good for the village. Otherwise, the Yavanas will take over the town." Hearing the atheists speak in this way, the devotees began to cry and chant Krishna's name. When they are now talking about troubling a great devotee like Srivas, devotees began to cry. Till now, they were distressed, seeing the state of affairs, that nobody else, others did not want to take to Krishna Bhakti, but now they were planning or thinking of harming a devotee. So they began to cry and chant Krishna's name. They were helpless. Vaishnava considers himself helpless. When Advaita Acharya heard these things, he became as angry as fire. Neglecting whether he was dressed properly, he spoke to all the Vaishnavas. "Listen, Srivasa, Gangadasa, and Shuklambara, I will make Krishna descend for all to see. He will personally come and deliver one and all by preaching devotional service with your help. If I fail to do this, then I will manifest four arms and take up my disc." Because he is Vishnu. "I will sever the heads of the atheists, and then it will be confirmed that Krishna is my Lord and I am his servant." In this way, Sri Advaita Acharya constantly worshipped the lotus feet of Krishna with great determination. The other devotees also shed tears as they all constantly worshipped Krishna with fixed determination. Mm. Have you ever cried for other devotees? Have you ever cried for other jivas? All the time we are just busy crying for ourselves. As the devotees wandered through Navadvipa, they never heard any topics concerning devotional service. Seeing the people's pathetic condition, some of the devotees wanted to give up their bodies, while other devotees sighed deeply as they called out the name of Krishna and cried. The devotees became so unhappy by seeing people's behavior that they lost their desire to eat. As the devotees gave up all material comforts, the Supreme Lord prepared to advent. Hmm? Supreme Lord could not tolerate his devotees going through so much of trouble. By the order of the Lord, Sri Nityananda Rama, who is non-different from Ananta, first appeared in Radha Desha. He appeared from the womb of Padmavati in the village of Ekachakra on the auspicious 13th day of the waxing moon, Trayodashi, in the month of Magha. That Lord, the original father of everyone, accepted Hadai Pandita, the king of the Brahmanas, as his father. Invisible to humans, the demigods loudly chanted Jai, Jai, and showered flowers. From that day on, the district of Radha Desha became filled with prosperity. To deliver the fallen souls, Nityananda Prabhu accepted the dress of a mendicant and traveled throughout the world. This is the description of Lord Ananta's appearance. Now please hear how Krishna made his appearance. Okay, I think I'm going to stop here. Yeah, because it's going to take another 10-15 minutes. Okay, so we'll continue from here tomorrow. Krishna. Okay, so this is nice. We'll just purify ourselves by hearing about these glorious activities of the Lord and His devotees. So unless there is absolutely required, there won't be any much discussion. So we'll just simply hear. Okay, so I'll stop here. Shri Chaitanya Bhagavat ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. There any questions, comments you can make? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat
Yeah,
Pranam.
Pranam.
Prabhuji, are you reading from some soft
I'm
copy
reading
or
from Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat.
book? It will, I think it's book, huh?
Yeah, Chaitanya Bhagavat is actually, so there are two scriptures glorifying Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I mean, primary scriptures. So one is Chaitanya Bhagavat, the other is Chaitanya Charitamrita. So Srila Prabhupada decided to translate Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita um, because it is more philosophical. Helps us to understand Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu philosophically. But Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat is actually completely just pastimes. So here Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur has given commentary on this. So this should be read. Actually, Prabhupada says that one has to read Chaitanya Bhagavat. And then also Chaitanya Charitamrita. Because Chaitanya Charitamrita actually, there Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is saying that Vrindavan Das Thakur is the Vyasa of Chaitanya Leela. So I can't repeat whatever he has written. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami repeatedly says in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Mm. He asks, seeks permission from Vrindavan Das Thakur, begs forgiveness wherever he thinks he is repeating whatever Vrindavan Das Thakur has already spoken in Chaitanya Bhagavata. But mostly he covers, from a pastimes perspective, he covers those pastimes which are not mentioned in detail in Chaitanya Bhagavata. But the focus of Chaitanya Charitamrita is more philosophical. Like, so many discussions like Sanatana Goswami, Rupa Goswami, then Ramananda Rai, and then eventually, the Antya Leela. Here the discussions are not, don't, it's mostly up till Madhya Leela only, as in Lord's, yeah, he took sannyas and then little bit more, but not into the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's transcendental madness. That is not discussed here. It's more discussed in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So if you want to actually understand Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's complete Leela, we have to read both. You have to read Chaitanya Bhagavat and also read Chaitanya Charitamrita. Chaitanya Bhagavat will be more pastime form. Chaitanya Charitamrita is more philosophical, and slightly some areas are very difficult to understand. Chaitanya Charitamrita. Bhagavat is not like that. Is that okay, Kuldeep Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji. So,
Yeah.
Prabhuji, is there any order to read scriptures, or we
Yeah.
can?
So yeah, generally what is recommended for us is first we read all small books of Srila Prabhupada. Then we read Bhagavad Gita. Small books, as in small books, medium books, etc. Till we come to Bhagavad Gita. All other books have to be read first. Then Bhagavad Gita. Then after that, we start with Bhagavatam. After Bhagavatam, or in parallel, we can start reading Nectar of Devotion, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Nectar of Devotion. And then once we finish Bhagavatam, then we read Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. But before reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, we can read Chaitanya Bhagavat. Uh, so we understand the overall pastimes of the Lord. And then we enter into Chaitanya Charitamrita only for those missing gaps. This is the recommendation generally. And of course, then once we have done all of Prabhupada's books, possibly 2-3 times, then by permission of our devotional authorities, Guru, etc., we can start reading other scriptures by other acharyas. Generally, this is acceptable. Okay. Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you,
Okay.
Prabhuji.
Yeah. Yeah. Shashank Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Pranam
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna. Pranam.
Uh, Prabhu, since it is mentioned in Chaitanya Bhagavata, stating like all other homas or yajnas is not
Yeah.
required in Kali Yuga.
Yeah.
So then, why do we need to perform sanskaras and all? Like,
Yeah. So there are two
are
things you have to
we
understand. Yeah. Samskaras are not part of direct devotional service. So when we are doing samskaras have their own process to be followed, right? Now this is in connection with direct devotional service. So when you're doing direct devotional service, we don't need any other homa yagna and all that. But grihasthas are expected to do samskaras. That's just to show the world, right? That this is the standard of grihastha life. Mm. But yeah, I mean, some samskaras are more critical than the others, right? For example, maybe Garbhadana samskara, Vivaha samskara, Upanayana samskara. These are important because they are also favorable for bhakti. But others may or may not be, but they are done mostly just to set a standard, show the world. But when it comes to devotion, we don't need to do any other yagna. Mm. Yeah, nowadays we see that we do so many, yagnas not required. Simply Hare Krishna Mahamantra Sankirtana is complete. Samyak Kirtaiti. Complete glorification of the Lord. We don't need anything else. Yeah.
Okay, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Thanks, Prabhu.
Okay. Yeah, Hare Krishna. Anything else? Anybody? Okay, so we'll stop here. Tomorrow we'll continue from where we stopped. So tomorrow will be the appearance of Lord Chaitanya. So yeah, Lord Chaitanya is appearing earlier for us, so that we build that mood and understand the mood of so many beautiful pastimes. And then maybe last 2-3 days before 14th, we'll discuss from Chaitanya Charitamrita also. Okay, yeah. So we'll conclude here. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Vanchakalpatarubhyashcha
Krishna,
kripa
Prabhu.
sindhubhyo cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnavandi ki jai, Samveta Gaura Bhakta Vandi ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.